God is my protection. God is my all and all. God is my joy in the time of sorrow. Oh, God is my all and all. God is the joy.
God is the joy
And the strength of my life. He removes
all
every pain.
misery and strife.
Yes, he does.
Promise to keep,
Never leave me.
never to leave,
He never
never
fall short of his word.
I've got to fast and pray,
Oh,
stay in the narrow
and keep my life clean.
every day.
I wanna go with
I
him
want to go with
when he comes back.
comes back.
I
Come too far,
and I never
never turn.
I want somebody to know that God is. God is. God is. God is. He is my of my life. He removes all pain, misery, and strife. He promised to keep me. Never, never, never to leave. He never ever come short of his word. I've got to and pray. Stay in. I've got to fast and pray. Stay in the narrow way. I've got to fast and pray. Stay in the narrow way. Keep my life clean every day. I wanna go with him
Good evening, good night, good morning, depending on what part of the world you're in. This is your pastor, Bishop R.C. Blakes Jr., and I have a good one tonight for our attention, to give our attention to tonight. We're talking tonight about navigating being married to a narcissist. Now, I'm no mental health professional, right? So I can't diagnose anybody, but I do know this: the spirit of narcissism is running rampant in the world today. And there are a lot of people who are married to people who have no capacity for empathy. And it really comes from my book, Me, My Mind, that was published a couple of years ago. And it's biblical perspectives on recognizing and surviving narcissistic abuse. And so I want us to just look at this for a very, very few minutes this evening, because being married to a narcissist is like being married to a vampire. They survive off of draining the life from you. When you're married to a narcissist, when you're in a close romantic, even friendship with a narcissist, especially when you're married to them, they are like a vampire. They survive by draining the life from you. Marriage is ideally supposed to be a mutually supportive institution. One gives to the other. Spouse gives to spouse. To be a mutually supportive institution, it requires two healthy people. When joined to a narcissist, it is a one-way street. You find yourself doing all of the giving, and they are doing all of the taking. And at the end of the day, the life is drained from you. And some people want to make me believe that this is the will of God. It is not. The narcissistic spouse serves to take your power, to drain your will, to just strangle the life out of your will, and to separate you from your identity. The aim is to make you a puppet. Now, there are a lot of you that are just, you're so anxious to get a relationship. You want a man, especially you ladies, you want a man so bad. And some of you men, you want a woman, a wife so bad. And you run straight on out here and you go and find the most obviously narcissistic person in the world to fall in love with. Go to 1 Kings chapter 19, verses 1 and 2. And here we have a record of one of the poster children of narcissistic abuse in the Bible. Now, when you read my book, Me, My Mind, Biblical Perspectives on Narcissism, I talk about how the spirit of narcissism started with Lucifer, who thought himself to be above the Almighty and wanted to put himself above the Almighty. So narcissism, it originates in Lucifer, in Satan. But beyond Lucifer, I think the next premier representative that we have in the Bible for narcissism is Jezebel. 1 Kings 19, 1 and 2, it says, And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done. and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, So let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. Now, you read the whole story, you'll get a lot of insight. But the thing I want you to capture here is that Ahab was the king. Jezebel was his wife. But yet it's like Ahab is reporting to Jezebel. And it's like Jezebel is calling the shots. And Ahab is like her flunky reporting back to her. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and with all how he had slain all the prophets. Jezebel simply consumed the power of Ahab. She dominated his will. She erased his identity. She stripped him of his power. She usurped his power, and she turned Ahab the king into a puppet. This is what a marriage to a narcissist feels like. If you're a woman, it looks something like a man that manipulates you with words, with gifts, dominates you, puts you in a position where you are completely subjugated. If you're a man married to a narcissistic woman, this is where you got to report like a child. You can't make any decisions on your own. Wow. Now, let's break this down. I'm just going to be here a few minutes. What it looks like to be married to a narcissist. You're ever explaining yourself. Point number one, you're always explaining yourself with common sense issues. It's like, why do I have to explain this? This is like common sense. Anybody can see what I'm saying or what I'm trying to communicate. But when you're married to a narcissist, the aim is to confuse you about things that are not confusing. It's not that they don't get it. It's that they thrive in a context of your confusion. They just want to keep you confused. So you find yourself always explaining yourself with things that are clearly common sense. They will constantly gaslight you to make you feel stupid and crazy about things that are obviously clear. If you look over in 1 Peter 5:8, it says, Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Anybody who's weak between the ears, whose identity is not solid, whose will is not established in the will of God, this is the one that may be devoured. Always explaining yourself with common sense issues. You find yourself getting frustrated to the point that now you're beginning to second guess your own sanity. Like, is there something wrong with me? Am I losing my mind? Because to me, this is like, it's black and white. But when I get through talking to him or her, I'm confused. I'm paralyzed, even in terms of pulling the trigger to make a decision. Number two, you'll find yourself living on the edge between calm and volatile. You're from rest to restless, peace to panic. The climate of your house, the climate of your relationship, the climate of your family will go from peaceful to violent in moments. You're thinking that you're doing something good, something nice, and then all of a sudden they're in an uproar, and it's full-blown drama. You'll never know what to expect. You don't know what to expect. So now you're like a person with post-traumatic stress disorder. You don't know what to do now. You in your own house, in your own relationship, because you're living on the edge between calm and volatile. It can give you, literally, physically, it can manifest ulcers if you take it seriously. See, the biggest issue with living with a narcissist or doing relationship with a narcissist is that it takes a long time for you to recognize that the person you thought you married was a false representative. And so you're engaging this person as though they are the person you thought they were when you committed yourself to them, not realizing that you married a mask. And now the mask is off, and they know how to switch that thing up, and have you feeling like something is wrong with you. Look what the Bible says in Mark chapter 5, verses 1 through 9. It says, "And they came over unto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains, because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces. Neither could any man tame him. And always night and day he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones. But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshipped him, and cried with a loud voice, and said, What have I to do with thee, thou Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God that thou torment me not. But he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, What is thy name? And he answered, saying, My name is Legion, for we are many. So you see the fluctuation here. How, living on the edge between calm and volatile. This man was cutting himself, and when Jesus showed up, he calmed down. What you doing to me? You have to understand, when you're married to a narcissist, or when you're in relationship with a narcissist, you are dealing with a demonic spirit. This is not natural. You are dealing with a demonic spirit. Number 3, incapable. This person is incapable of celebrating you, so there will never be any affirmation with them. If your love language is words of affirmation, you can forget it. You'll never get it. They're incapable of celebrating you. Because the narcissist is in need of self-esteem and finds a false sense of it by draining everyone else of theirs. Because they lack self-esteem, they take pleasure in doing the things that will drain others of their self-esteem. And so if you're getting a promotion and they just sitting there silent, quiet, with a smirk, a smile on their face, if that breaks you, that's what you're going to get. If they have to make statements like, I don't know what the big deal is, just a little promotion, they ain't giving you no money, that's what the deal will be, because they're incapable of celebrating you. I'm preaching better than y'all shouting. And some of you, this is what you live with. This is who you're married to. This is who you're trying to marry. This represents your friendships, your so-called friendships. They can't celebrate you. They're always bringing you down when you're trying to go up. Acts chapter 13, verses 44 and 45 says, "In the next Sabbath they came almost the whole city together to hear the word of God. But when the Jews saw the multitudes, they were filled with envy and spake against those things which were spoken by Paul, contradicting and blaspheming." So we see the root cause of their speaking against Paul. They were envious. And when you are trying to do relationship, when you're trying to do life with a narcissist, you will never be affirmed. They are incapable of celebrating you. They are envious, they are jealous, and they are devious. What was that? That was number what? Let's see. That would be number 1, 2, 3. That would be 3. So this would be number 4. They accuse you of craziness and misrepresent you. They accuse you of craziness and then they misrepresent you to your family and friends. They'll set the situation up where to the people who matter to you the most, they'll make you look crazy, and then they'll slide in behind you some kind of way and misrepresent you to your family and friends. You know what? Pray for him. You know, he's not right. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And then they'll put you in a situation where maybe you blow up in a family or friends gathering or something, and then they'll look at the people in the family and I told you, something's wrong. Something's not right. And you look around, they got your whole family and friends dancing to their music while they accuse you of being off your rocker, something wrong with you. Revelation 12:10 says this, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down." I'm trying to show you that this is a demonic spirit. The accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. That's what you have going on. You're trying to figure out why is your mother calling you to talk to you about your marriage? Why is your father? Well, this person has misrepresented you, and they've gone behind your back with the people you love the most, got them thinking that they are God's gift, while they got them believing that, you know, you might be on some substance abuse kind of tip or something. And then I guess this is number 5, I suppose, right? Yeah, this is number 5. Watch this. They dominate. They institute domination usually through passive aggressive behavior. They handle you very passive aggressively. That's why even your family and friends can't pick up on it, because their dealings with you are very passive aggressive. They'll say things that they know will trigger you, but nobody else will pick up on the undernote. And so this is how they manage and manipulate you. Now, how does one survive this? Letter A, you got to realize that you are engaged in psychological and spiritual warfare. You got to understand that this is spiritual. This is spiritual warfare. You got to recognize that. You got to, I'm in love. You're in warfare. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, 3 and 4 says, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. Letter B, you're going to have to lose the dreams of an ideal marriage or relationship. Some people say, well, I'm not leaving, and that is your prerogative and your right. But you're going to have to understand this to maintain your sanity. You're going to have to lose your dream of this ideal marriage because you're not going to have that. This is going to be a fight tooth and nail. This is going to be psychological warfare day and night. Letter C, you're going to have to insulate your mind from the poison of this person. You're going to have to understand who they are, and you're going to have to insulate your mind. You can't allow anything they say to just enter your mind. You're going to have to vet and screen everything they say. Whereas in a healthy, normal marriage, you can just receive freely from your spouse. Not in this case. In a normal, healthy friendship, you can receive freely from your friend. Not in this case. You're going to have to vet every word because they will send words into your mind to plant in your soul to disrupt your spirit. So your mind is going to have to be insulated from the poison of their personality, their agenda, their words. And then if you're married, you're going to have to, letter D, cover your children in prayer. If you're watching this in real time tomorrow night, Friday night, we're going to have Holy Communion, and Family Communion is an annual gathering that we have. And at 6 o'clock, we're going to be giving away, I'm teaching on mind healing tomorrow night, but at 6 o'clock, we're going to be giving away vials of oil for you to use in your prayer time. Well, there's some occasions where you need to take oil and just anoint and pray over your children, especially if you're caught up in some marital situation that you can clearly see demonic manifestations. You're going to have to cover your children in prayer. You're going to have to cancel bloodline curses, and all of this kind of thing. And just, and then letter E, you're going to have to be emotionally unpredictable. You can't wear your feelings on your sleeve. You got to be emotionally unpredictable. When you're in proximity to a narcissist, you must be emotionally unpredictable. Proverbs 24, 6 and 7 says, for by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in multitude of counselors there is safety. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate. You're going to have to be emotionally unpredictable. You're going to have to operate at a level of wisdom that is so far above they can't locate you. And then finally, that was letter what? E? Letter F, let them go when they want to leave. Don't stop them. Don't stop them. If they say, I'm out of here, I'm gone, let them go. That is God rescuing you. When a person's heart is not right, you cannot change it. You look at that parable of the prodigal son. You look at it's a trilogy of parables: the lost coin, the lost sheep, and then the lost son. The lady, the woman swept for the coin till she found it. The shepherd left the 99 and went and retrieved the lost sheep, but the father of the boy let him go, gave him money to go. Why? Because when a person's heart is not right, you cannot change their heart. And sometimes you got to let them go so they can meet God for themselves. Let them go. Do not hold on to a person that's dragging you down to the bottom. And so, again, that's from my book, Me, My Mind. You need to go and pick this up at Amazon, or you can go to RCBLAKESstore.com and you can get it directly from us. Amazon, yeah, you can get it there as well. I said that. Now today, as we prepare to honor the Lord with our tithe and with our seed, I want you to get the Lord's tithe prepared. If New Home is your church, be it in the physical sense or the cyber church sense, get your tithe prepared and return the tithe to the Lord now. This would be the storehouse, wherever you're fed. If this is where you're fed spiritually, this would be the storehouse for you. There's a seed that the Lord put in my heart, a $99 seed, because God has been showing me for the last few weeks that there are some things that are just almost ready to break. And 99 is like it's like a transitional point. You know, it's just one move away from, just going to another dimension. And prophetically, the Lord said there are many that are feeling that in your business, in your ministry, and whatever. You just feel like you're right there and you need the grace of God to push you forward. If this ministers to your heart, and if you're able and or willing, I want you to sow a $99 seed. And my prayer for you today is that the Spirit of God will get behind whatever it is, and that you will see a supernatural grace manifest to push you into your next dimension. Now, continue to sow, continue to tithe, but just know that I love you, and I'm looking forward, if you're watching this in real time, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night, Friday night, November 7th, for Holy Communion. It's going to be absolutely amazing. 6 o'clock, I'll be doing a mind healing session. 7 o'clock, we're starting service immediately, and it's going to be a time of great healing and deliverance. Just know I love you. You're on top. You're going higher. God has more in store for you. I'll see you at the top. God bless you. Until next time.
Family, I know our bishop has asked you to sow into our church, but at this time, we want to be a blessing to our bishop. Scripture reminds us that those who labor in the word are worthy of double honor. If his ministry has impacted your life, this is an opportunity to sow back into his life in love. You can give today through Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, and Givelify. Just follow the instructions on the screen. Let's show our bishop how much we appreciate his leadership and heart. Go ahead and sow that gift of love.